Um, this shall be interesting. No, but I wanted to share a quote, and it's a quote that just has been speaking to me, and I've been sharing it on all my platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and now I'm like, I was gonna just post a YouTube Shorts, but instead I said I'm going to share this live. And I don't know, sometimes when you get these inclinations, you gotta just go with it. That might be a word for somebody. So the quote is, imagination is more important than knowledge. And I know that when you hear that, it's so easy to think that that doesn't make, there's no way, like imagination is not even real, knowledge is fact. But when you think about it, it's what follows the knowledge is what determines how powerful the imagination is. And a prime example that I gave is when you check your bank account and you're presented with the knowledge of the amount that's in your bank account, or whether it's good or bad, it is the imagination that follows that dictates the mood for the rest of the day. When you receive a text message, it could be from your boss, it could be from whoever, it could be an email from work, it can literally affect your mood. Why? Because you're allowing the imagination to shift the internal world. And one thing I was sharing recently is that mood is a chemical reaction, and a chemical reaction that is sparked through the imagination. So if right now I start to tell you a completely sad story and all of a sudden you start feeling really sad for me, and it was completely fake, I created a chemical reaction in your brain that started to affect this whole world inside of you, and your imagination started to follow that. And the same thing, like you, as a kid, you would watch scary movies and you'd be terrified. And then you would literally imagine monsters in your house. Well, in today's day, we look at the news and it's like watching a scary movie, but it's literally causing like so much turmoil inside of us. So we have to pay a lot of attention and hold with restraint our imagination, because our imagination is more powerful than the knowledge presented. So it kind of goes back into the quote of life is not so much about what's happening to you, it's about how you respond to what happens to you. But it's like how you are reflecting and perceiving what is happening to you. It's not just what is happening to you, it's how do you perceive it happening to you. And one quote that has been constantly hitting me today is, life is happening for you. So if you could just use your imagination to perceive that life is happening for you. And I love it. I have one person tune in live, and I know that this account is going to grow, so I am going to recognize, wow, 6. Okay, cool. I have never been live before, so I'm excited. This is a big moment. No, but honestly, I just want everyone, for those of you tuning in live, this quote of imagination is more powerful than knowledge, it's for us to sit with that concept that our imagination is ruling our world. It is what we are doing with the information given to us. And if this week we decide to use our imagination to work in our favor, then maybe our whole life would look a bit different because we're the ones in control. Maybe our lives would look so different if we decided to say, hey, okay, knowledge is presented, text message received, bad news received, whatever it is, but we stop allowing it to dictate our mood. Then we could take back control of our lives. Like, what if your imagination about a failed future is what is literally manifesting the failed future? Maybe the sadness that you're enduring is because of the imagination of your best days have passed. But what if you use the same imagination that is creating the worst case scenarios, that's making you think the love is never coming back into your life, or that you're not at the success according to societal standards is not at the level where you want it to be? Then what if you use that same imagination to say, hey, but I know that I am stepping into my authenticity. I know that I am on the right track. And I know that everything on this earth, everything in this universe is beginning to work for me and not against me. And if I am alive today, then that means that purpose still stands. And if purpose still stands, then I'm going to stay standing. And I'm not going to let myself just stay knocked out in bed feeling defeated. Like, what if the whole concept, and this is just me giving you some perspective, but what if the whole concept of feeling defeated is imagined? It's not even knowledge or fact. that the moods that we hold on to so tightly, that constrain us from our greatness, that hold us back from evolving or from even smiling, are because we're looking at life through the imagination of defeat and failure. But what if this week, this month, this year, not only when news is presented to us, but just on a constant, we keep imagining best case scenarios for our lives. We keep imagining that we are so lucky. We keep imagining that the world is working for us and not against us. Because I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of the imagination working and double-minded thinking and the worry for unnecessary reasons to continue taking over. And I think it's definitely been like systemized in our culture to just always be expecting the worst and live off of crisis. But I really believe that if our imaginations can completely ruin our mood, then our imaginations can also heal us and give us the greatest days of our life because of how we're choosing to perceive life. And what other people think about you and your imagination is none of your business, because you're the one who lives with your own head. All right? Well, that was fun. That was my first YouTube live. I would definitely be doing more of these now that I have broken the ice and shown up. Thank you guys for subscribing. Appreciate you. Much love. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, whichever, or YouTube. Whichever you choose, I'm there. Brandon Allen. Take care.